will begin again with the next forum at 6:50, so we're pretty close on schedule. Just a review for anyone who's come in during the last forum. Some of the questions have been given to the candidates before, essentially about their background and their priorities. Because of the short time period, I have shortened the time you'll have to respond, but then we will still accept questions from the audience. And so I think it's important for the audience to be able to ask those questions. And we do have, because there are so many candidates for the school board, we do have a little extra time than the other races. Just to let you know, on the school board, you can only select 3 of the 6 candidates. So you will be choosing which of these 6 you would like to serve and be on the Foley School Board for you. And so we're also going to start, and I'll rotate as well, and please keep all your applause or expressions of support toward the end, and then we can thank them. And just as another thanks, we want to thank the Foley Area Chamber of Commerce for sponsoring this, the Foley Schools, as well as all the candidates for being willing to serve. It's truly appreciative to have the candidates be willing to give their time for such a public service. So the first thing, we'll start with Wayne on this end and keep going. And the question for just a minute. Summarize your personal background, your experiences, and why you're running for the office of the Foley School Board. And April and Chris are right in front of you. They're doing the timing, and they have signs that you'll be able to see the countdown from a minute, 30 seconds, 15, and then stop. And once that red stop comes, I do interrupt. So, okay, so we'll start now with Wayne.
Good evening, everybody. I would first time running here for school board. Long-time resident of Foley, been married for 27 years to my wife, which has been a lifetime resident of Foley. I'm running for the school board. Not saying it's anything I've been doing wrong. I feel I could add a lot of things. I'm a advisory board member of the St. Cloud VOTEC. I sit on the EPIC board of the VOTEC, which generates students to come to the VOTEC to learn career opportunities, which is very helpful for our students in the school. We have 11th graders to figure out what career they want to go into after they leave high school, and just make sure we're on the right track with all of our teachers and staff when we're going in the right direction.
Thank you. And then moving on to Valerie.
I'm Valerie Tim. I'm running again for the school board. I'm married to Jeff. We've been married 22 years and live in Dwellum, and have 2 sons, a senior and a sophomore, that go to Foley High School. I was previously on the school board from 2017 to 2020, and I'm running again because I have a passion for education. I really want to get in and be involved to advocate for all students. I like to create opportunities for each one of them to reach their full potential. And working in a rural community, I think, is really important. We've got fewer students, but we still need to find ways to offer as many pathways as possible for all the students that we have here. And I have a background in, I have a degree in secondary biology science teaching, so I do have an education background as well.
Thank you. And then Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie Rinsky and currently serve as vice chair on the school board. My husband John and I have 3 children in the district. As a parent, vested community member, nurse, and small business owner, I have a diverse skill set and wide range of experience in communication, relationship building, and problem solving. I'm a lifelong learner with a growth mindset, and my first term on the board was both rewarding and challenging. I think it's safe to say the last few years have been challenging for all of us, and the biggest, of course, being the pandemic and how it literally turned education upside down. Staff and students lost academic teaching and learning, parents lost jobs and income, and almost everyone experienced social isolation. The effects of academic loss and mental health are overwhelming, and we are still trying to recover. I still want to be part of that process.
And then Becky.
I'm Becky Howard, and I'm currently serving on my 3rd term as an elected school board member. I've held all positions while serving my terms, I'm a Foley graduate, and I've had 4 children also graduate from Foley Public Schools. I currently work part-time at Mid-Rock Fleet as a cashier and a server at Jack and Jim's in Dwell. Up until recently, I was caregiver to my elderly father, and he passed away 10 days ago. I have an accounting degree and have 13 years experience working in Human Resource Office at the St. Cloud School District. I also currently sub here at Foley Public Schools, very minimally in lunchroom and as an education assistant. So it's great experience for me to be amongst the staff and students. I am also currently president of the Foley Area Foundation and treasurer of the Foley Athletic Booster Club.
Thank you. And then Laura?
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Dr. Laura Lebster-Brown, and I thank you for this opportunity to share my background and my extensive educational background with you. I'm grateful for the chance, and I would like to serve on the Foley School Board to help students learn, to improve their education. I've lived in Foley for almost 40 years. All 3 of my children graduated from Foley High School, and I've been an educator for over 45 years. I earned my doctorate in leadership and literacy, and I'm also certified in school finance and school operations. I currently serve on the DACS committee, District Advisory Committee for Curriculum and Standards. I'm recently widowed and now have the time to serve the students of Foley. I want to roll up my sleeves and help, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
And then Nathan.
Hello, I'm Nathan Anderson. I was born and raised in Foley. I grew up with a mother who was a great teacher. My mom has been teaching at St. John's for more than 40 years, and the love that she has brought to teaching is a driving force for my desire to make a difference. An appreciation for teachers is something that I grew up with. Upon graduation from high school, I attended and received a degree from St. Cloud State University in Applied Economics. I'm currently employed at C.H. Robinson, a Fortune 200 company where I'm the Applied Pricing Manager. In my role, I'm responsible for pricing, we offer our customers and carriers, as well as ensuring the overall profitability of the flatbed division. My days are full of collaboration, pursuing goals, and holding ourselves accountable to high standards, all of which are skills useful on today's school board. Today, I have all 4 of my children in the Foley District. As my oldest daughter is visiting colleges and deciding where she wants to continue her education, I have seen firsthand how well the school has prepared her for this next step. I know my other children are in good hands as they continue their education at Foley. I'm running for the board because I want to give back to the school that has given me so much. We are very fortunate in Foley to have a very good school, and I'm eager to be part of the journey as the Foley District continues to strive for excellence. I have a vested interest in continuing to improve outcomes of the school with my 4 children in the district. Thank you.
And the next question has to do with your top 2 or 3 priorities if you're elected as school board serving the Foley area. Why and how did you choose these? And we start with Valerie.
Well, I've been away from the board now for the last 2 years. One of the things that I've noticed recently is there's a struggle for finding subs for buses, for teachers, and I know this isn't just a problem in Foley, it's a nationwide problem, and it's probably not just one fix, but I would like to focus on that to help our staff out, because if our staff gets burnt out, it's going to affect the students. And so that's one of the priorities I want to look to, try to come up with some creative ways to help that alleviate some of those issues. Another priority would be expanding the curriculum. I'd like to continue, I also serve on the DACS committee. I'd like to continue working on that committee and come up with some other ideas for classes. We keep expanding into college credits and doing some other classes that are going to be more in line with like technical colleges and just help reaching more of the students than we're reaching today.
And then, of course, Stephanie.
My first priority is health and safety of students and staff. That will always remain my first priority. And that includes the physical and mental health. Obviously, I mentioned earlier that that's been a major setback in everything that we've gone through, but I think just in general, it's just, we have more awareness now, and it's just looking at those resources and opportunities that we have to help students. I also would like to promote opportunities in the skilled trades. I think, getting kids ready for college and career, as far as having more options for the kids that maybe don't choose college as their next step after high school. So just looking at that, my husband and I own a construction business, and I just think of the different trades and stuff that are available, and I know there are students that would be interested in those.
And Becky?
Student achievement is always my top priority, and we are definitely gaining ground on getting back to pre-COVID scores. And I look forward to being involved in any way that I can to see things continue to turn around for our students and to support our staff that are working very hard in that area. We also have some new processes in place this year, one being our contracted bus service with Trovex. And I'd just like to continue making common sense decisions and based upon what's best for students and to support our staff community.
Laura?
I have several priorities, student growth and achievement certainly, and supporting the instructional teams, the entire team, the certified teacher as well as the parent support staff, ensuring that team evaluations are conducted regularly and with full transparency and with collaboration. We all should be part of that. Team members must be part of the process, starting with a pre-observation conference where the team member has input regarding professional SMART goals. Post-evaluation conferences must be conducted promptly, encouraging real dialogue and professional growth goals, making sure that teams have what they need to do their important work, and making certain that all areas of the school operations are provided with the resources needed to keep our facilities clean, feed good, nutritious schools, and get our students to school and home safely.
Next is Nathan.
I selected achievement first because that is the primary purpose of school. We use test scores to measure achievement. We benchmark ourselves against other schools. We benchmark our students against other students. The Foley District performs well in many academic areas, and we work hard to improve academic achievement across the board. In my mind, my achievement is so much more than just academic. Achievement is defined by the dictionary as something that has been done or achieved through effort, a result of hard work. We also need to focus on achieving our sports and fine arts activities. We have students that work not hard, not only in the classroom, but also train for their sports, rehearse previously for their fine arts performances. In much the same way we dissect results in the classroom, we need to do the same thing for our activities. If we have an activity that is underperforming compared to peers, we need to identify why and what can be done to change the outcome. We owe it to the students that are putting in the extra work to allow them to have the opportunity to succeed. We need to be open to all options and collaborate with schools that are having success. Second priority would be just to be fiscally responsible. As we look through, the Foley District does a really good job of getting a ton of utility out of each tax dollar. We have great facilities, we offer lots of activities, and we have many employees in the district wearing multiple hats.
Thank you. Thank you. Wayne?
I have several items. I have several items of concern. I would like to eliminate bullying entitlement. Also make sure our teachers or staff have the right credentials to be teaching or working in the positions they have. I would like to make sure our teachers are teaching some college accredited classes for post-secondary students. Make sure our budget is used for the correct things. We're using our budget correctly. And like I said, our teachers and staff are doing the correct jobs, and then mental health of our kids also.
Thank you. The next question is a two-part question. One of it came from the audience tonight, and we'll start with Stephanie. And the question is, other school districts have had citizens express concern about their school's curriculum for a minute. And do you have any concerns, and how should they be addressed? And the added part from the audience is, what is your stance on the teaching of critical race theory at all the levels, elementary, middle school, or high school? And you have a minute, Stephanie.
I guess I would start by addressing, I'm sorry,
So curriculum and then critical race
okay,
theory.
sorry. I think Foley has a great history and a great education, academics, curriculum. You know, I don't have any particular concerns, but I'm also very much like moving forward, and we're always looking for different ways to teach, and I think that's important. So I would say that we just continue looking for ways to reach children, and I guess one example would be math. Kids are learn math different now than the way that I learn math. So I think it's important to just keep moving with that. As far as the CRT, critical race theory, I would say, history is what it is, and I would support continuing to teach it as it is.
And Becky.
So I do understand the citizens that express their concern on curriculum. But here in Foley Public Schools, we have complete transparency with our curriculum and what is taught. I mean, there's always opportunities to talk to administrators, to talk to teachers. There's conferences at all times, and then every day in between. As far as our curriculum goes with the CRT, I don't have particular concerns about that. I don't see our district going against any of our traditional teaching curriculum that we've had in place for years.
And Laura.
I've been on the Foley DAX committee, the District Advisory Curriculum Committee, and Curriculum and Standards. And with that committee, we've seen teachers who actually come to the meetings and share the new curriculum. They talk about what the 2 different curricula that they are looking at for science. For an example, we're looking at this one and we're looking at this one. Here are the strengths. And they allow us the opportunity to ask good questions. So I feel like it's a very transparent system, and the curricula that has been chosen has been well thought out and well researched. CRT, I think it's important that we teach the actual real history, what actually happened. Thank you.
Okay. Nathan.
From a curriculum standpoint, I think we do a very good job of making sure that we are taking input, we're understanding what the teachers are looking for, we're addressing, we have a good process for review. Like was mentioned earlier, there's the DAX committee. That's basically the majority of the time that's spent on that committee is looking just at curriculum. Teachers are involved in that process, and they present what they see, what they like, what they're wanting to, what recommendation they have. We just went through a process in which we actually increased our budget for curriculum to make sure that we can afford to buy the best curriculum that we can. We're not going to continue to be strapped for the amount of money that we have to spend from a curriculum standpoint. And we have a culture in Foley where it's a growth culture, growth mindset, we're innovative in the way that we approach things. And I think the leadership here just does a really good job of always asking questions and looking to continue to improve the overall curriculum that we offer. From a CRT standpoint, it's something that I have not really interested in changing the way that we teach history or looking to divide or place blame on students.
And Wayne.
Our curriculum, I don't have no big concerns on it as long as we're open-minded to change or new ways of teaching. As long as it's agreed upon as a board or voted on as a board and the community involved. Teaching in history, let's teach it what it was. Be accurate about it.
Valerie.
I also believe that Foley's got an open book with our curriculum, being on the DAX committee as well. We go through and see all of that. The teachers bring ideas to us, and we have a really good process in place here. If parents or someone in the community is concerned about it, we're certainly open for them to bring it in and talk to staff, teachers, or the principals, or the superintendent if you have concerns with anything. I also believe that history should be taught in the manner that how it occurred. It teaches us about things that have happened that we were unaware of. It helps people learn different viewpoints. It helps the students possibly learn empathy from different things, understand where others maybe have come from, and then it also, more importantly, helps us learn how to not repeat the same mistakes that we've done in the past and look forward and try to do things differently so that we can all move forward.
And then the next question is 30 seconds. And we're going to start with Becky, put her on the spot first. For 30 seconds, what thoughts do you have on what the school is or should be doing to prepare students for career and post-secondary success? Becky.
Well, we fully understand that not all students have a desired motive for your college. There are many, many options for people after high school. The two-year trades programs, and as well as military or just going into the workforce. So we fully understand that we have to have opportunities for all students to reach their goal, whatever that happens to be, for themselves after high school, and apply classes and such.
And Laura.
Thank you. I think it's critical that our teachers are certified in the area in which they're teaching. I think that will make a huge difference in post-high school, whether it's college, a 4-year program, or a 2-year program, or right into the workforce. So I think we need to be really vigilant about the people who are teaching in our classrooms, especially in science and math. Thank you.
And then moving to Nathan.
I think from a career readiness standpoint, we want to make sure that we continue to expand upon the college credit classes that we have, AP placements. In addition to that, I'd like to see a better engagement with our trade schools, maybe some apprenticeships with different trades, that type of thing. And overall, just teaching general leadership skills, right? I think being able to set goals, achieve goals, and kind of that growth mindset that comes with it is very important to just success not only in school, but as they get out into their career, whatever the future holds. Thank you.
And then Wayne.
I believe we've got to bring all the trade courses back into the high schools. We got to let the technical colleges come in to the high schools, bring them to the trade schools, get more involved with EPIC, and help them kids push them into a path they want, whether it's a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, or they can get their experience in high school if we bring all them trade industries back into the high school.
And Valerie.
Foley does a good job of getting the kids prepared. They work with them in, once they get into the high school, they go through career exploration and they can visit with the students. They have different schools come in the cafeteria that they can come in and visit with, and they are expanding that. I do believe they've got a couple more tech colleges coming in this year, and they do have the Army, Navy, Marines coming in as well. So they do work with them to give them exposure to different opportunities.
And Stephanie.
I just would like to say success is so different. It can be very different from student to student. And I think our job as a school district is to do what we can to prepare kids for life skills. You know, things that we can help, because we can help them identify their gifts and their interests while they're in school. I think sometimes we put a lot of focus on tests, and I appreciate the data, but I also know that we need to start focusing on some of these other things.
And the next question also came from the audience. So the question, it's going to be 30 seconds. We'll start with Laura. And the question is, what are your thoughts about gender identity affirmation? And is it necessary? And if so, when should it be a part of the curriculum? The elementary, intermediate, or high school? And Laura starts.
Thank you. I think this is an important issue to have transparency, and really parents need to be helping us with that kind of decision. Certainly these issues will come up in school. I was just speaking with one citizen last week, and if the child comes to school and there are 2 moms in the home, we have to be sensitive and gentle with that. Thank you.
Nathan?
I think as far as the children that come to school that have these situations, I think we need to approach them with kindness. I don't think that there's any place in school for us to have an actual class or coursework that helps with this gender identification process or affirmation or anything like that. But I think at the same time it's important for us to be kind to the students that have these situations.
Okay, and Wayne.
I think we need to accept that into our schools. It's coming. We also have to worry about privacies of both sides of that spectrum and just be open-minded and deal with it case by case.
Valerie?
I see this coming up on an individual basis. I don't see that it's something necessarily to be taught like in a class, but it needs to be approached with kindness and openness as you would approach any other difference that you come across. No two people are the same, and this is just another one of those differences that we have, and so it needs to be, they need to be treated fairly and appropriately as they would be for other differences.
And Stephanie?
I believe that I believe that students that are experiencing this need to be treated with the same respect as any other student in our district. I also believe that there are ways to, improve things, but ways that are going to help all students.
Oh, we'll allow time for you to repeat that.
Your battery gone?
Okay, battery. Okay.
Sorry about that.
You can start again.
Students that are struggling with gender identity issues or any other issues, those children deserve to be respected, just like any other student in our district. And it's up to us to continue to create that culture of respect and also to look for ways to support all students.
And Becky?
I also sorry, I also agree that all students should be treated respectfully. But this is a topic that I don't feel in my heart of hearts that actually needs to be part of curriculum or actually a taught idea. Definitely would need involvement with parents, and we have counselors in place at school, and they would probably have to outreach with outside counselors as well. Thank you.
The next question was submitted to the chamber prior to tonight's forum. The core values at the Foley Public Schools include achievement, respect, support, and kindness. And for 30 seconds, I want each of you to just address one of those and indicate what it means to you and why is it important. And this time we start with Nathan.
I'm going to take kindness. I think that that's kind of at the baseline of everything that we talk about. As you look at all the situations that we have, problems that we face, differences that we may have, it really comes down to how you approach that person. And if you're able to reach out and meet them in a place of kindness, understand where they're coming from, and have empathy for their situation, even if you don't agree, that's the best way to kind of move forward. Thank you.
Moving on to Wayne.
I choose support. We're a small community. We should be able to support each other, even if we don't agree with each other, but support each other, help each other out, and we need to do that. We need to support each other and make this world happen, and be good to each other.
And Valerie.
Okay, I would choose support as well. Was one working either? We're just going to pass the mic around the hall.
Yeah. Was that one of them that works?
And we have one that works in this camera. That's the bad one. Okay, how about this one? Here we go. I would choose support as well. I believe the school district does a really good job and with the students, especially helping support each other, the students supporting each other, the staff supporting each other, and the staff supporting the students. It's just really important if we're all supportive to each other, then it just helps the community in the school become stronger, and that just is really helpful and just makes a really strong and powerful school environment.
Stephanie.
I will choose respect. I believe every student and staff member deserves to be respected. They deserve to receive and to give respect, and I think it's important that we continue to have that be the most important thing, because all lives matter and everybody needs to be respected.
And Becky.
I'm going to take achievement. How do we actually measure this? In my mind, achievement is measured by doing your best. Did you do better today than you did yesterday? If your best is a C, we're going to take a C. Not every student is capable of A's and B's on an everyday basis. They may have special interest. We just have to accept the student where they're at as long as they're doing their very best.
And Laura.
Thank you. Let's do, moving microphones here. Thank you. I'm choosing respect. I think if we teach respect and where the respect is reciprocal, so teachers to students, students to teachers, those of us in the administrative roles are respectful, I think, and we're going to develop a culture of respect and learning from one another, and then we can grow to be our own best selves. Thank you.
And Nathan.
I already answered
Yeah.
this one.
Oh, you did? Okay. So, moving on to the next question. We'll still do it for 30 seconds. It has to do with the budget for families and families that have kids in extracurricular activities as well as the overall budget. We realize that some things are not in your control, but with the higher cost of food, utilities, and expenses for both families as well as the school district, for the next 30 seconds, how would you help prioritize the needs and ensure revenue and expenses align within the school's budget, but as well as students and families? And we start with Wade.
Well, I believe everybody should have a fair chance. Is this working?
No, just talk loud.
All right. Well, I believe everybody should have a fair chance at everything. Nobody should go hungry. We should be able to evaluate students. If they need help, come to us. There's plenty of other organizations that are willing to help with items like this. But we can always evaluate students. They got to come, the parents have to come to us, and we can put money where it needs to be and ask for other help if needed.
Valerie.
Yep, I agree with Wayne as well. Certainly we want to make sure that everybody has a meal when they come here. It's vital that they're fed. The students have to eat before they're going to learn. They can't sit here and be hungry. They're not going to be learning. And if they want to participate in activities, you know, one of the things we did now having the activity bus is one of the steps that we took to make sure that other students can, you know, that opens it up to more students that maybe wouldn't be able to stay after for activities because their parents are working and they can't get picked up. So they also shouldn't be inhibited by the cost of activities. And if they just talk to us, we will find different ways to come up with funding. You know, it's definitely beyond the school. There's just other ways that we can help students out, because we don't want kids missing out, because they need to be able to experience these things to grow into, you know, their potential for what they want to do after school.
Okay, Stephanie, 30 seconds.
I would say that kind of the no child left behind. You know, of course the meals, we want to make sure that every child gets a meal. at school, and then also even extracurricular activities. I would hate for a child to miss out on something or an opportunity because of a financial piece. And sometimes that means getting creative. So like Valerie said, you know, going out into the community, finding ways that we can support, you know, support these students, you know, businesses and things like that, that can help these kids be successful.
Becky. Cooperation among the candidates, isn't that great?
Yes, we do understand that each family has a particular budget to work on. As far as activities fees, there are safety features in place. We have hardship scholarships available for students. If their family can't afford for them to participate, there are ways for them to. It's been helpful that we've had the free lunches. There are federal programs in place for free and reduced lunch. We also have the booster clubs, and all of the various activities also have their own fundraising mechanisms in place as well.
Okay, Nate, or Laura first.
Thank you. I think it's really important that all children have the opportunity to participate in the extracurricular activities. And like Becky said, that there are hardship scholarships available, but let's also be creative and look for other resources. The other thing that I want to mention is that at a DAX meeting, FRP, free and reduced, is now part of other government programs. So like SNAP, we automatically get those names.
Okay, and Nathan.
I think from a budget standpoint, one of the biggest misses we had in the last year from the state was when they put in funding lunches for students, breakfast and lunch, especially in the face of the inflation that we're facing currently today. I think from what we can do, we can continue to encourage people to sign up for the free and reduced lunch programs. That also applies to sports and activities. We can have businesses sponsor us and just keep working to remove hurdles, like the activity bus is removing our hurdle is in place. Thank you.
And this time, the very last minute that you'll be here, you're asked to say why do you want the voters to vote for you, and is there something else about yourself or your viewpoints that you would like the voters to know that hasn't been said yet? And we start with Valerie.
Well, I would ask for your vote because being on the school board before, I am familiar with the high school and I should say the whole district. I want to look for different ways and be creative on reaching all the students, helping the staff out, and keeping Foley strong, and keep growing the school and getting better at achievements, keeping our math and reading skills getting stronger, and then helping get the kids to the high school, getting them through some good programs, getting more programs in place, new classes, some other different like tracks they can go down to figure out what they want to do after high school, because not every student is going to go down the same pathway.
And Stephanie.
I will start by saying that public speaking in this type of a forum is not my strength. So I would say, as far as building relationships with students and advocating for staff and advocating for the community and things like that is my wheelhouse. Like, I truly have a passion for people, making those connections. So, as far as me being up here as a polished speaker, that's not going to happen. But I'm real, and I'm willing to sit down and talk to anybody and to visit and to hear your concerns. And I want to continue to move forward and continue to improve and recover from what we have lost with the pandemic, as well as look for opportunities for kids moving forward. Thank you.
And Becky.
As you all know, we have an excellent reputation here at Foley Public Schools as a wonderful school district, and I would definitely want to be a part of seeing that legacy continue. I would be a vote for experience. I have extensive work with contract negotiations and hiring. And just a word for those present here. The school board is a governing board, which makes us very different from city council and very different from the Benton County Commissioners. And we're not necessarily a managerial board, and I do understand my role as a school board member. Thank you.
Laura?
Thank you. Well, thank you for this opportunity to share my strong background in school leadership and educational improvement. Kids come first. Kids always come first. And with my strong background, I want to help. I want to roll up my sleeves and help. I think all team members need to be part of decisions. I think we need to be transparent and equitable. I think fiscal responsibility is crucial, using our tax dollars wisely and investing in our future leaders. Thank you.
And Nathan?
I was born and raised in Foley. I'm proud of this town. I'm proud of what we have. I'm proud of the school. And I just want to help when it continues along the journey to excellence. Today I have 4 kids in the district. Like I mentioned earlier, my oldest daughter's going through the process of picking out a college, and it doesn't matter if she wants to go to college or not. What's important is that she has the opportunity to. And I think that's what the Foley School District does, is it gives kids opportunities. It gives them an opportunity to achieve and to have success. I'm ultimately running for the board because I want to give back to the school that's given me so much. We are very fortunate in Foley because we have a strong school. We do things very well, and we have a solid base to grow from. I'll continue to work for the community, and I'll continue to work hard for the district if reelected. Thank you.
And Wayne started all the questions. He now is the very last person. He gets the last word in. Wayne.
All right, I want to thank everybody for coming and supporting us here for this forum, but we got a good, strong community here. I'd like to keep it that way. We're all honest with each other. I believe we're honest with each other. Let's keep this school strong. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to listen to anybody, anything. I'm the type of person that's always going to I'm going to wear your shoes. I'm going to listen to you. Just be fair, be honest. I'm going to hear I got to hear your side of the story always before anything. We got to be here for each other. That's why I'm asking for votes is I want to listen to everybody and I want to make sure everything's right.
Can we give all the candidates a round of applause?